Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Stacy Shillington and welcome to my weekly video. I am really excited to share this information with you today because it's all about sleep and acne. And I suffered from chronic insomnia for 10 whole years. It was torture. There is nothing as torturous as not being able to sleep. I suffered with that for 10 years. My skin was awful. I am now at a place in my life where I am sleeping soundly. My health is so much better. And I know many of you out there watching this video may suffer from chronic insomnia as well. You may also suffer from acne. And if that is the case, this is the video for you to watch. I am going to share the 7 reasons how chronic lack of sleep can lead to acne, and 7 ways that you can get back to sleep. You can get back into a sleeping schedule and heal your acne. So, research has shown that on average, human beings need 8 hours of sleep per night. That may fluctuate, an hour give or take, but you don't necessarily need more than that. And you certainly do not need less than that. You need a certain amount of sleep because that is when your body repairs, that's when your body regenerates, that's when your brain works optimally. And sleep is actually as important as diet and exercise when it comes to building a really healthy lifestyle for you. So you cannot do without sleep. I do not want you to go without sleep. I want you to get 8 hours of sleep. It's critical. If you're having problems, reach out to me and also watch this video and take notes. So, first of all, how does sleep contribute to acne? There's 7 major ways that it does that. I have my notes here just so I don't forget any of them. First of all, when you don't get enough sleep, your immune system drops. When your immune system drops, you're more susceptible to inflammation and infection. Acne is an infection, so your immune system is not able to fight the bacteria that's on your skin that leads to acne. So that's one way that sleep deprivation can lead to acne. Another one is impaired glucose tolerance and increased insulin resistance. Studies have shown that when you don't sleep enough, you increase your insulin resistance. And as you know, if you've watched my videos, if you follow me, insulin resistance is one of the main causes of acne because it causes increases in androgens almost directly. And androgens are the hormones that cause acne. So when you're not sleeping, your blood sugar is not being regulated properly. And this ties in with the 3rd way that chronic sleep deprivation causes acne, and that is it dysregulates your cortisol levels. And it's almost a vicious cycle because the more your cortisol levels are dysregulated, the less you're able to sleep well. The less you're able to sleep well, the more dysregulated your cortisol levels are. So it's a vicious cycle, and it's really important that this vicious cycle be stopped, because when your cortisol, first of all, our cortisol levels follow a really nice curve throughout the day. So when we wake up at 8 a.m., typically our cortisol levels are the highest so that we're getting up and we're ready to go. Cortisol kind of gives us energy. And just about when we're going to sleep, our cortisol levels drop, and that allows us to sink into a nice, deep, restorative sleep. When your adrenal glands are fatigued, when your cortisol levels are dysregulated, it's difficult for you to get that nice curve. So often what happens is your cortisol levels actually increase, probably about 10, 30, 11 at night, and that will propel you into a state of alertness where you're not able to fall asleep. And when these cortisol blips are happening in your body irregularly, not only is cortisol released from your adrenal glands, but also a hormone called DHEAS is released as well. And this is an androgen, and this triggers acne. So Cortisol dysregulation triggers acne, and anytime there's stress in your life, your cortisol is going to be dysregulated. I hope that just made sense what I said. It seemed really long and drawn out, but stress, cortisol, acne, lack of sleep, all connected. Okay, that's number 3. Number 4 is that when you don't get an adequate amount of sleep, your body's leptin levels actually drop. Leptin is a hormone that allows you to feel full, and when that is not activated, you are going to have more carbohydrate cravings. When you have more carbohydrate cravings, often you eat more carbohydrates, more sugars, and that leads to acne as well. And you're like, oh my God, right? Is this going to end? And we're not finished yet. Sorry. When there's chronic sleep deprivation, there's also increased levels of circulating estrogens. When there's higher estrogens than progesterone, acne is created. The low progesterone action in your body contributes to higher androgen levels. There's actually a few ways that this happens. So again, less sleep, more acne. God, I feel like I'm delivering like this awful news here, and I am. Also, when you're not sleeping enough, slower healing in the body, slower recovery. So it means your blemishes are not going to heal as quickly or as well. You're going to be more prone to scarring, be more prone to hyperpigmentation, and then of course alertness, concentration drops. That's just a bummer. That doesn't necessarily lead to more acne. And I'm just seeing here to see if I forgot any of my 7 ways that sleep deprivation causes acne. And I think I've covered it, and I think that's all you really need to know. The bottom line is there is a real deep connection between a lack of sleep and acne. Sleep is important. It's just as important as cutting sugar out of your diet when it comes to healing your skin. It's just as important as healing your lymph and healing your gut. Sleep is critical. Without it, it's really hard to heal. And I had 10 years of this. And I find also that when you can't sleep, there's just a stress that comes with that. It's such a vicious cycle. It's so awful. And so you might be asking me, so what do I do if I can't sleep? What do I do if I have insomnia? An amazing question. And the number one thing I encourage you to do is to test your cortisol levels and to test your adrenal glands. There are tests that you can do, urinary tests, salivary tests, and it tests your cortisol levels at certain points throughout the day. So your cortisol curve can be graphed, and you can see when your cortisol tends to spike, when it tends to drop. Chances are your curve is probably not optimal if you have chronic insomnia. And we need to heal your adrenal glands. Absolutely critical. Absolutely doable, and I'm going to tell you how you can heal your adrenal glands and how you can get yourself back to sleep. So number 1, you've probably guessed this one already, but reduce stress. Critical to reduce stress, guys. There's such a strong connection between stress and acne and stress and lack of sleep. Some strategies that I love, I swear by meditation. I think that when I started meditating, that's when my sleep really started to come back to me. It's 10 minutes a day, but then you're sleeping all night. It's like the trade-off is just not negotiable. Meditation's amazing. Gratitude is another way to reduce your stress. 3 minutes a day, just declare 3 things that you're grateful for every single day, 21 days straight. Research has shown that makes a massive impact when it comes to reducing your stress. And deep breathing, yoga, and then there's like getting rid of stressors in your life, and also changing your perspective, perceiving different stresses in your life differently. So that's all under number 1, reducing stress, so critical. Number 2, exercise is important, but it's critical that you exercise in the morning as opposed to the evening. When you exercise, cortisol is released, and if you have adrenal fatigue, this doesn't go for everybody. If you're a good sleeper, you can exercise whenever you want. If you have adrenal fatigue and you have difficulty sleeping, don't exercise at night. It will not help normalize your cortisol levels. A few hours before you go to sleep, everything should be winding down, calming down. I'm talking about, reading, conversation, baths, just like really taking it easy in the evening. So that's number 2 and number 3 together. Exercise in the morning, relax in the evening. Number 4 is regulate your blood sugar, because when you have low cortisol levels, what's happening is the cortisol regulates blood sugar levels. It's not able to regulate your blood sugar levels enough. Often this is happening when you're waking up in the middle of the night. If you wake up at like 3 in the morning and you can't get back to sleep, often this is because your cortisol levels are not able to regulate your blood sugar levels enough. Your body doesn't have the fuel it needs, so it wakes up. It's like time to refuel, and you're all awake, and there you go. Have a good snack before you go to bed. Something that's high in protein, something that's high in fat, maybe a little bit of avocado, or maybe some almond butter. Something, or a handful of nuts is a good idea too. Something that's going to really satiate you, something that's nourishing and that's going to hold you through the night. I remember when I was first recovering from my adrenal fatigue, I would have a protein shake every night before I went to bed, and that really helped a lot. So if you're a night waker, eat just before you go to bed. Yes, and sleep is as important as diet and exercise, so make sleep a priority. Now I'm going to give you the number 1 way to regulate your adrenal glands and get your sleep back, and that is to be on a consistent schedule. The adrenal glands love this more than anything. It's so simple, but it really works. The number 1 thing to do is to be in bed by 10 o'clock p.m. You have to do this because if you're up and about around like 11, 12, within those hours, anytime after 10 p.m., your cortisol is going to spike. Often this is known as your second wind. You know how you're really tired around 9 p.m. and then all of a sudden at 11 p.m. you feel completely awake? This used to happen to me all the time. And I would find if I was not in bed by the time that and I got that cortisol spike around 11 o'clock, I would be up until 5 a.m. So that is my key to sleeping well, and that's being in bed by 10 p.m. This is critical if your adrenals are fatigued. And then wake up at the same time every single day. 6 a.m. is when I wake up. It's non-negotiable. I even find if I sleep in, I may have difficulty falling asleep the next night. So when I had my really bad insomnia, I remember I saw a sleep therapist. I remember sitting in her office crying my eyes out. I was pregnant with my second child. My first child, he's a very active child, and I just didn't have the energy for my life because I wasn't sleeping at all. I was crying my eyes out and telling her my sleep schedule and how I would try and sleep in in the morning to try and get a little bit of extra sleep. And she's like, whatever you do, don't do that. Do not sleep in. Get up. Same time. It doesn't matter if you've had 1 hour of sleep. You have to reset your circadian rhythm. And that helps me tremendously. Same sleep time, same wake time every single day. And you must balance your blood sugar throughout the day as well. So you have to eat 3 meals a day. No skipping meals. This will affect your sleep. Believe it or not, it doesn't seem like they're related. But if you're not eating at regular intervals, it's not going to help your adrenal glands heal, and you're going to continue suffering with insomnia. And one of my last ways is adrenal support. You have to support your adrenals. If you have acne, this is hard to do because so many adrenal adaptogens stimulate the adrenals. When that happens, it increases the production of DHEAS, and that creates acne. So there's one adrenal adaptogen that I really recommend, and I've mentioned it before. It's holy basil tea. A few cups of this per day nourishes your adrenal glands, but it also blocks androgen. So it's a very special adaptogen, especially made for people with acne. I love it, and I'm really happy to share that with you. So you can find it in a health food store. You know, make it as a tea. Yogis drank it for thousands and thousands of years because, well, they would drink it before long periods of meditation because it would make them feel very calm yet alert at the same time. So imagine that feeling. That's what you're getting from holy basil tea. So sleeping in complete darkness as well, that is important to help regulate your circadian rhythm so your body is producing the proper hormones at the proper time of the day so that you can sleep well too. So those are my suggestions for healing your sleep if you have acne. God, guys, I'm so passionate about this because I suffered from it for so long. And when I say suffer, it is suffering when you can't sleep. It's not fun. It's incredibly stressful. You know, it's hard to believe that I spent 10 years, you know, fighting this. I'm totally fine now. I have great sleeps. Once in a while, there's a blip here and there. I don't let it bother me anymore because I have some really great strategies to help. So I hope that you have found this information helpful. Reach out to me if you want any more information on this. And if you're suffering from acne, if you want help clearing your skin, I am the woman to help you. I'm a naturopathic doctor. I've been in practice for 12 years helping women clear their skin. I have an amazing 7-week clear skin program. You want to check this out if you have acne. It's life-changing, huge amount of support. All the information that I've learned over 12 years, I'm sharing with you. And you can check, I think there's a link somewhere nearby. Click that link to you can find out more information on my program. And also follow me on Facebook and on Instagram, and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. And it is my mission to help you clear your skin. That is what my whole career has been about, and I really want to help you on your clear skin journey because life is way too short to live with acne. And I know that. I've been there. And that's why I'm here today. So follow the links, reach out to me. I'm here to help. And also follow in my advice to have great sleeps because it is so critical and so important. And that's all. So sweet dreams. Have a wonderful week. And I'll be back next week with another really cool, informative video for you. Bye.